name is Merete, and today I'm going to make an episode alone because Janne is not feeling very well. And now that there is only a couple of hours with the daylight, I try to record a little bit, and I hope that the light here is okay. I come to you from Norway, and this is a farm that I own, and I think that if you have watched my episodes, our episodes earlier, this will be a little bit different from the others. It will be more talking and less knitting, because I want to tell you about this farm and a little bit about the projects I have had before I bought the farm and now after I bought the farm. So first of all, I hope you have a nice Christmas, and that these days in between Christmas and New Year's Eve, that we in Norwegian call romjul, that you have a nice time. It's a bit silent, not so many arrangements, not so much to do, but of course we have the knitting and the crafty things, so I am not bored at all. I want to show you a little bit of what I knitted in a hurry before Christmas, because I wanted to give my family members something. I used to give them socks, but this year I went for something else, and that was hats. So I have knitted in a hurry Reine hat by Arne Carlos. It's a pattern in English, so it's very easy for you all to knit it. It's in Lima, a wool and alpaca blend from Drops. Knitting and purling, that's all. It's not difficult. I made several of these. The first one I made, I didn't really read the chart very well, so I did something wrong. But I just kept on doing the same mistake, so the hat was rather okay, and I didn't do because I had done the pattern, the chart wrong. I had to do with main color only at the crown. So my sons got this, and I actually forgot to I think this was finished some hours before we opened the presents. I made some more, but they couldn't find it when I went through the house and said, can I just borrow the gifts? I also finished my beanie. That was an Advent Mystery Knit Along from Sofia Kammerbarn. This is made in finull, and the wool I bought in Riga, in hobby wool. And I made it a little bit longer. I added one chart with the heart. But then it got actually a little bit too big. But that's okay, I can just, a slouchy hat is also okay. So this is a very nice and Christmassy hat. I love to wear, and it's thin, because the finull is very thin. I also knit, I had this sock. This is a bundled up sock from Expert. She has a podcast. And I made one, and then I couldn't find more of this light blue yarn. The hand-dyed yarn is from Kate, Norway Kate, a Norwegian hand dyer, and it's a very funny structure. But now I found more of this. It was not continued, this color range, so I had to just look in my stash, and I found it. So now I knit number 2, and I have finished Tant Ultus. Here, it's a very nice heel. So I think it will be finished before my son goes back to his school, which is quite far away. I have also made, oh, I forgot to show you something else I have finished. When I went to Midtnorsk Kultur- og Strikkefestival, that's a festival in around the Trondheim area. They had an international retreat, knitography, arranged it together with the festival, and I met a lot of international designers. And I won also a knit-along they had on knitography's first shawl design. So I got a lot of patterns, and one thing that I got, or actually I bought this pattern, I got something else from Mars. But this is a shawl, a design by Hey Brownberry on YouTube and everywhere else. Her name is Marceline, I think. And the ritual shawl is nice, very easy shawl. I made it in my hand-dyed yarn, merino, DK, I think. We don't use yarn weight in Norway, and Norwegian undyed white from Line Merino. I love this lace. It was a marathon, I admit, but I really like it. And when I dyed the yarn, I had to start just a little bit on the darkest. So at the bottom we have quite dark purple, and then a little lighter, and then the lightest. And I put the yarn, the skeins in the in the pan, and I got very easy the color, so I just put it up. This was not so much in the pot, in the pan, and then so it's a kind of the same color, but yeah. I really like this. It's quite big and triangular and romantic. I love this. I didn't have enough of this light color, so I had to do some white stripe here, and I added some garter rose just because I wanted. But it's more or less a ritual shawl. It's garter stitch. I had to purl a lot. We Norwegians don't like to purl very well, but it's very smooth, and I like the surface of it. I have also started another project that I wanted to send with my son, who leaves in a week, I think. And because I was in the knit along for Knitography's first shawl, and I won Marchuszka Knits. She's a Polish podcaster in London. I won her prize. I was so happy. I got a pattern from every designer who was at that tea party in Orkanger at the knitting retreat. And one of the things that I got was from Running Yarns in Bern, Switzerland, Marianne. It's first snowfall neck warmer, and it is so lovely. Stranded knitting in a very thin yarn, and that is when I started it I thought I could do it in a hurry, but I don't think so, because this is sisu. It's a fingering, I think, sock yarn. I have to read the chart very carefully when I knit. It's not really difficult, but it takes time. But it gets very soft and very beautiful. When you have thin yarn, of course, there can be more details in the pattern. Something I'm going to finish is my Fana cardigan, #1. Or it's not my #1, but we have this knit along where this is #1. This is for my daughter, and I have I finished so far, and now I have sewn in where to cut and sew with a sewing machine for both sleeves and for the neckline. You can see there's a gray thread. So here are the sleeves. Just I have to wait. My daughter has had her Christmas at her boyfriend's family, so then she will get home tonight, and I will have to measure before I cut. I think that's a good thing. I think that was all of the things, not really all, but that was the things I wanted to show you. What I'm wearing is the flea cardigan by Pinneguri, the Needle Lady. I love that. I think I've knitted 6 or maybe 7, I'm not sure. It's top down, and it is in Symre, a yarn from Telespin in Telemark, where I come from. But now I will get my notebook and tell you a little bit about the farm. So from now on it will be my me talking only. Just to tell you a little bit more, I am a teacher, and I teach in upper secondary school. I have done so all my life, and I come from Telemark, which is closer to Oslo, but then I moved up here because my husband is from this place, but actually it was me who wanted to go back here, and I got a job here. And I have always been kind of an organized, or I like organized things. I'm not organized. I'm rather messy, but I like to be to arrange things. I like to make things happen. So And I like culture. I like to play the piano. I used to sing in choirs. I read a lot. I used to do. I'm not so much into reading now these days. That's a pity. I should do something with that. And I've always knitted and crochet and all that things. So after I moved here, I have had a lot of book evenings where I have had authors, especially connected to the Björnsson International Literature Festival in Molde. I've had really great names coming over here to small Averøy, the island I live in, and to have a book meeting. So I would kind of not interview but have a talk together with a dialogue with the author in front of an audience. I have had writing. You could come here to teach, to learn creative writing with a very good Norwegian author. I've had concerts in the garden, concerts in the church. I've had with a cafe here, and a lot of things happening. I have also been in youth in action projects where I went with a lot of young people to other countries and they came here. So I have always been a very active cultural woman. And when we bought this farm in 2014, 7 years ago, I wanted to have this place as a meeting place. And we have had a lot of tourists. That is what has given us some income, because we live 2 kilometers from here and we still have that house. But right now we have some kind of 5 years where we have to live here more than 50% to be able to have the farm. That's the way the laws are. And I want to tell you a little bit about this farm. It has a lot of local history connected to it. It is the neighbor to the church. The priest never lived here, but the priest came here, and a lot of the things going on in the church, also kind of people came here to have a coffee. The small babies who were going to be baptized had to change their clothes here, and the priest changed the clothes and so on. People came with the boats, they came with their horses, and in the old days going to church was a full-time activity. And this house is from 1847. There was another building here before, and when we bought this farm had been in the same family since 700 something. 1700, sorry, that was very long. 1700 something, early, I think. So it fills me with awe. It fills me with a feeling of this is something I have to be to take care of. And we try to find the old history. We try to put old things back into the house. We have the photos here you can see from the people who lived here. They are not my ancestors, they are the family who lived here. And we have mountains and woods. We have the coastline on our property. We have sheep and hen and a rooster. And we have, sometimes we borrow the horse, not anymore, our daughter used to do that. And we have some cats, of course. But this is a project that is very big because it's a lot of agriculture. Even though we have full-time jobs, both of us, my husband and I, and we have 4 kids. And they're not that fond of chopping wood. That is actually the only thing that gives us income right now. I had a lot of notes. So this is very old. It used to be a post office. There was a bank here. There was a shop with grocery. There was a telegraph. And did I mention everything now? Not at the same time, but a lot of things has been going on in this house. Several generations, people coming to this place. Maybe a teacher would stay here in one room and get bed and breakfast for the time that he needed. So this house is big. and it's supposed to be a place where people come and go. Of course, some live here, but a lot of things happening, people and lights in the windows, and yeah, and that is what we have tried to do the 7 years that we have had it. And now when the COVID comes, it's nothing. We had some very few tourists this summer, but we have no arrangements. That's so sad. I have had 2 knitting weekends here together with Janne, and that has been so lovely. I made a film out of it, so I can link to that below. There was a lot of animals here up until 1912, I think, because they couldn't have animals anymore because of the health. There were cow, there were horse and sheep, they had goose, they had ducks, and they had what did I forget? I had some notes, but it's best when I don't look into my notes all the time, I think. Yeah, but now when we have the sheep again, the sheep kind of eats everything back into what it used to be. The old cultural landscape is now returning, and that is very nice. I just had to look at my notes. There was a goat also, that was the one. I knew that there was something missing. This house was built from wood. It is so old that it's rather, it's not, what's the balance is a little bit, you know, I missed some words here. It's really charming and old. It's, when you walk the stairs, it's a bit squeaky. Oh. Okay, you get what I mean, I think. And now that there is nothing happening here, and I have all these things I would like to do, I have talked to Janne, and we have agreed, both of us, that we want to try Patreon. That is some of the reason why I tell you all of this. Because this knitting, we used to have a podcast, audio podcast from 16 to 18, and then we started doing this video. That has always been just for fun, and I think that to make some income from culture is almost impossible. But now that I have nothing else, or have my daily work, but you know, to have 2 houses and to have all these plans, and we try to, we make a lot of restorations now in the other part of the house. There is a lot of things I could do for patrons. So we have decided, if you want to watch these episodes like we have used to, that's fine, and that's okay if you cannot afford anything, or if you don't want, or so we will do the same podcast as we have done for free, but we will add something for the patrons. And I have made a site for us on patrons.com, and you can choose, and you can be Patreon for as long or as short as you want to. But we will make some extra videos. You will come in here behind the scenes. I have a lot of walks out in the woods and the mountain, maybe even on the fjord. We can have some of Janne's tips, maybe for the patrons. So this is a kind of COVID thing that I thought maybe we can try it. Maybe people get angry with us, I don't know. In my country, in Norway, all these kind of hobbies are seen as a kind of a female activity, just for fun, just for make the time pass. So it's a bit difficult to actually make some money on it, but I hope that one day, even you, if you live on the other side of the world, that you can come here on a knitting retreat that we started to have, but we had to stop. And you can be here as a tourist or as a knitting retreat, maybe learning old techniques and all that things. There are so many things I would like to do with people. That's why it's so stupid that we have to have all this lockdown, but of course we don't have a choice. So that was what I wanted both to tell you about a lot of the projects that I have had, and also to tell you that we are starting a Patreon, and to wish you a Merry Christmas still and a New Year's Happy New Year. I think that Janne will return sometime quite early in January, and I have things that I haven't shown here that I will show when Janne comes. And we have knit-alongs. We have, that should be at the beginning of the episode maybe, but I'll take it now. We have Kari Hesnes and Tove Fevang, two Norwegian designers. Everything they have designed is in the knit-along, and it lasts all until the midnight of 31st of December. And the same with Aggregate Shawl by Jimmy Knits. That is something you actually may have time to knit if you start now. It is a very quick knit shawl, very nice. And we have the Fana knit-along that is going to be run all to 1st of March. But more about that in January. And we will sum up this year. 2020 has been a strange year, but we have knitted like crazy because we have had a lot of time. Another thing that I don't think I mentioned now, when Janne and I talked about this Patreon thing, we had to clear out what is our roles into this. And I am the one who is the kind of administrator. I do the recording, I do the photo, the editing, and Janne, because of her health, she cannot have a lot of income. So she will do what she wants and what she can, and I will have the main responsibility. And if you become a patron, the money will not be in my pocket in a way. It will be in my name until the tax regulation. If it gets so much, I will put it into my company. So, and it will all be put into this house and this farm and this project that we have. And we hope that you all, maybe not at the same time, but that all of you could come and visit us and stay with us here. That would be amazing, because we love people. I think that's enough for today. It's getting darker and I'm going to get my daughter home. That would be very nice. So I hope you stay safe, listen to the advice from the government, and keep distance and all that stupid things until we can have a better world again. So have a nice time now, and I think that was all. If you want to comment below, please do, and I put out a lot of links always, so take a look at the show notes, and take care. Okay, that was all for today. Bye bye.